Jesus does not say vote to force others to feed the poor.
Yeah, you're probably right. Jesus wouldn't have had much of a reason to say something like that. He was a vassal living under Rome. He wasn't a guy who was going around telling people how to vote. But this isn't really the flex this guy thinks it is. Because Jesus told you guys to feed the poor. Yeah, you're right. He didn't say vote to do it. He said you do it. There's this really interesting parable or teaching in Matthew 25. And I'm going to paraphrase a little bit. It starts in verse 31. And it's about the judgment of the nations. And it talks about the end of time when the king returns and he will separate people onto his right and his left. And it says, like a shepherd separates sheep from goats. And he'll put the sheep on his right hand and the goats on his left. And he'll say to the sheep, come into my kingdom. Enter my Father's rest, that's been prepared for you. For when I was hungry, you gave me something to eat. And when I was thirsty, you gave me something to drink. And when I was naked, you clothed me. And when I was sick, you cared for me. And when I was imprisoned, you visited me. And they will say, when? When, bro? When did we do any of that? And he'll say, whatever you did to the least of these brothers and sisters, you did to me. And there you get to go to heaven, And then he'll say to the people on his left, he says, depart from me into the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels, you accursed ones. For when I was hungry, you did not give me anything to eat. And when I was thirsty, you did not give me anything to drink. And when I was naked, you did not clothe me. And when I was sick, you did not care for me. And when I was imprisoned, you did not visit me. And again, they say, when, bro? When did we not do any of that to you? And it's the same answer. Whatever you did to the least of these brothers and sisters, you have done to me. So I think this is a really interesting teaching because, excuse me, it gives a really clear indication that what we do to each other on this planet and this life is really important to Jesus. So, what's your point, man? Don't vote to give people food? All right, well, then you do it. Churches bring in religious organizations, not just churches, but the majority of them in this country are Christian. They bring in roughly $140 billion a year. And funding SNAP is like $50 billion. Now, I understand there's nuance here. Like, a lot of that money is going to go to facilities and outreach and, electric bills and other things like that. But your sky guy is supposed to be the one who owns everything. My pastors always say stuff like he owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. And that's supposed to be like a metaphor for he owns it. Psalms say the earth is the Lord's and everything in it. The world and those who live in it. Because he founded it. So, in any case, the cattle on 1,000 hills, I'd prefer the trout in 1,000 lakes or the elk in 1,000 forests, but, teach their own. In any case, he owns it, according to your guys' theology. So, what's to stop him from, miraculously giving you your buildings or softening the hearts of the mortgage holders so that they forgive your loans or making it so it's free to have electricity or something, So then you can use your money to actually do the stuff that Jesus cared about. Feed the poor, clothe the naked, stuff like that. Wouldn't it be so interesting if the church as a whole, the church, like the greater church, not just small churches, came to the government and said, we'll fund SNAP? Wouldn't that be really taking Christ's command seriously? It'd make me take notice. And I think the problem is we have this misunderstanding in this country that everyone on SNAP or in poverty it's some sort of moral failing. They're just lazy, or they didn't work hard enough, or who knows, God's punishing them, who knows what. And look, are there people who abuse the system? Yeah, I'm sure there are. Are there people on SNAP who could stand to lose a few pounds? Couldn't we all? In any case, who cares? Like, we still need to feed them. And SNAP is a really useful tool right now. It's they got their cards and they can only use them on food and groceries and stuff like that. And it's a minuscule part of our budget. Americans really should be more upset about our funds being taken and to pay for wars in other countries that we don't want, and ballrooms that no one needs, and to subsidize the lifestyle of our politicians and the rich and anyone else who can buy off our senators. I don't know, I think we could just be doing more. I'm going to the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels, no matter how you spin it. But I'm not going to be going because I refuse to feed the poor. That's on you guys. You make your own decision. Rant over.